I was inspired to found the ME Trust as a result of my own experiences of living with a severe form of CFS-ME. I was actually ill for 12 years and I spent most of that, not all of it, but most of it bedbound. And throughout that entire time I was told by a succession of doctors that there was no hospital bed available, and in fact I only got 13 weeks of social services care. In 2008, at the end of this 12-year period, I was told by my own GP that in fact I wouldn't get better.
CFS-ME is an umbrella term for disease or spectrum of disease that affects the whole of our being. People experience extreme exhaustion, muscle and joint pains, noise and light sensitivities, cognitive impairment, digestive problems and a host of other symptoms. Heather was not alone in her struggle. The NHS estimates that CFS-ME affects over 250,000 people in the UK alone.
I think probably the lowest point for me was actually accepting the diagnosis.
My lowest point was really that 7 months, and it's the thought that you may never get better, and it's a thought of no one really knew what was going on.
There were times when if I wanted to go upstairs, I couldn't walk upstairs. I would crawl on my hands and knees because I didn't have the strength to actually walk.
The consequence of the difficulties of diagnosis is that many patients can fall through the net and suffer many months of frustration attempting to find a clinician who can provide them with a sensible diagnosis and an answer to their problems.
Yeah, out of all the different medical conditions you could cite, probably ME/CFS is above all one that is can present in so many different ways with so many different combinations of symptoms.
One of the most important characteristics of it is that it is mimicked by other serious illnesses such as cancer and long-term infections. And at the same time, ME can mimic those conditions itself.
And so you really do need a patient-centred, individual approach.
This is where Burswood comes in. Each patient is allotted a CFS-ME care team, and the patient is a core member of that care team.
Well, let me tell you about Burswood. Burswood is a registered hospital, but any notions you might have in your mind about what a hospital is like, you might need to put to one side, because when you come up to Burswood, you're greeted by this wonderful country home where people are welcomed into its fold.
A friend told me about Burswood. I was desperate for help and I came here in the back of a camper van, and within a month was walking down the hospital corridor with an enormous grin on my face. My life had been transformed.
The ME Trust believes Burswood is capable of providing the kind of individual patient-centred care that has proved integral in the recoveries of so many people with this debilitating illness.
I've now got my own business, my own HR and training business called Springboard 123, which the name itself has come out of my journey of recovery really.
Well, as I said, I got better 21 years ago. I'm a dentist, so I'm sort of working, and I have a young family, well, I say young family, older family now.
To go to Everest Base Camp, which I did in March last year, March 2010, was a huge, well, a few years ago it wasn't even something that I even thought about doing. I just couldn't.
The first step in our vision to provide care for people with CFS-ME is to fund a free hospital bed here at Burswood that'll be in a designated room. We have a dream of going beyond that, of course, and of building units so that everyone, whether they need outpatient or inpatient care, will get the care that they need.
Still, sadly, very few people can access the care needed for a prompt and full recovery. NHS provision is extremely limited for those who are severely affected. Few services offer home visits, and designated hospital beds are almost non-existent.
I truly believe, based on my own experience of being a patient here and from speaking to other people who've been patients here, that this really is truly the best resource available for recovery and for improving your quality of life.
If 250,000 people each gave just £3 a month on behalf of a person with CFS-ME, we could have enough to build a purpose-built unit. Please come on board and make a real difference to people who are literally aching to be well. Together, we can transform lives.